live, so just a couple of minutes, if that's all right. Thanks, man.
Hello everybody, back again. We are sat at the side of the stage. We're going to do a little bit of a Q&A and a bit of a talk through some of this amazing tech we've got here. It's a very, very exciting show tonight. I'm sat with Mark here.
Hey, how you doing?
Mark is my amazing head of technical stuff tonight. Anyway, he's doing all the lighting and providing the sound equipment, and also doing all the cameras, which I'm going to show you in a minute, because this setup is just incredible. Really, really, really great. So I'll flip round. You can see what we're up to at the moment. Everybody's enjoying dinner at the moment, and we're sat over here side of stage. I'll do a little walk around in a second so you can get a flavour of what we're doing. But so this is something that a lot of you that have seen our theatre show, you won't really have experienced. This is our private shows that we do. So whether it be parties, birthdays and corporate events, which is what we have tonight, this is where we take it out on the road. It's a little bit different to the theatre show because we do more party music at the end and stuff. But tonight's the first time we've done this massive setup with dancers and a stunt show on a corporate event. We did it for a birthday last week, but on this sort of scale it's the first time. I'll come back to you in a minute, Mark. I'm going to just quickly show you around the front of the stage, and you can see. So if I flip it round, as you can see, it just looks amazing. Do a little spin round. Everybody's enjoying their dinner. I hope you can hear me nice and clearly. So there's probably a good 1,000 people in here for this corporate event. Huge, great big stage and PA system. And I'm going to go and introduce you to... Hang on a second. If you've got any questions as we go, please ask. This is Mark, as I say.
Hey, how you doing?
He runs his own fantastic technical company. How would you describe your company?
We're a bit different to kind of most people, because we kind of do it. Well, my background was I used to work at Abbey Road and Air Studios in London before I set up Velocity International Productions, which we've been through a couple of names over the year, but this is sort of who we are and who we've been for a number of years. And we kind of do everything on the sort of the pretense of it's quality over your cost at the end of the day, so you're not paying the huge sums you would expect to be paying for the amount of gear Warren has sitting on this show. We do it as you've obviously got to make money from it, but we do it as an enjoyment value at the same time. So you can start to see sort of what we got here. So for instance, Warren's showing you here the video setup that we got. So we're currently running 5 cameras on this show tonight, plus a load of others that are just on record that aren't being used on the screen.
So just to explain what's happening here is that the screen you just saw there, that's all the previews of all the cameras that we've got dotted around the room. And then you can't see it at the moment, but at the back of the stage we've got the giant screen that we did have on one of our previous theatre shows. We'll show you now, actually. So the screen here, which at the moment has just got our gun logo on there at the moment. But later on, I'll ask you a question in a minute, Gary. Who's singing tonight? Singing is Kerry and Matt, and we've also got our party singer Damien as well joining us later on. So what we showed you before, this is the preview window. So we've got all the different cameras around the room here, which are in darkness at the moment, but later on that'll have all the band on those cameras, and then Mark can select which one he wants to put up on the screen. So it's an incredible setup. That's his little desk there, which he...
That's where we can select which cameras. That's where we can sort of select which cameras which. So stick it down there. So for instance, on here you've got your row of cameras here. Obviously we're only using the first 5 tonight, but you can select a preview camera, which then will come up on your preview window there. And then when you then decide you want that on the screen, it will flip over to the program window on the other side, and then it will come up on the screen up there. Sorry.
No, that's cool. So then we'll also show you what else have we got here. So
this is all the independent control for the cameras. So we have it set up in such a way that I can control all the colour and everything of each individual camera, including its zoom, its focus, its brightness, its exposure. I can control all of that remotely from here. So we've got three of the five cameras are manned cameras, so there's people on them. But all the guys that are pretty much doing that are on the cameras is they're panning, tilting them around, getting them into a nice focus point, but then the actual color correction so that it looks correct on the screen. So in other words, if our lighting engineer Jack was to put a load of red up there, the last thing you want is for everybody's face to go red. We can correct that from here remotely and do it so that we can see it correct on the program screen, so when it goes up on the screen it looks good.
And this is what we've talked about so far, is that's only the cameras and the screen. The other aspects that we've got, let's talk a bit first about the sound.
Oh,
so
here we go.
You've brought your huge rig. I'll try and show it up here quickly. Hang on a second.
Side on.
Yeah. So we've got this massive, great big rack of speakers, and then also got our subs for the bass down here. All this is all speakers. So I'll just go back to Mark over here. So Mark, tell us a little bit about the setup of sound that we've got out the front for the audience there, because I think this is probably the biggest PA system that we've gone through with this show since we started.
So, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, so basically we opted on this one because it's a bit of a cavernous space, this one. As you can see, Warren's showing you there. You've got, what's that, it's 500 guests?
No, it's about 1,000, I think.
Okay, so about 1,000 guests in here, but the room isn't completely full. But as you can see from this picture here, just where Warren's showing me, you see behind my head and up here, it's all just a big open ceiling. And if you were to imagine basically like clapping your hands in a church, you're going to get loads of reverb and delay and all of that kind of stuff after it. So it kind of creates a bit of a nightmare to make sure that everybody has a crisp, clear sound. So kind of the way it's done these days is there's two options of doing it, and like the not so good way of doing it is dotting a load of speakers around the room, but then you get into the issues of making sure that, let's say you have somebody standing at the back of the room, that person hears the sound from each individual set of speakers at the same time. So you've got to get all your delays correct. It's a bit of a nightmare. So what we've gone for is we've gone for a big line array, which basically at the front of the stage, what that does is that means that there's the ones that are at the top of the array, Warren's showing you here, so the ones right up the top up here, they are basically kicking out more output than your ones lower down, so that what that does is it means that the sound from up the top travels further. So in other words, we'll fill up the back of the room and the ones down the bottom will fill up.
Amazing. And I mean, that's just the sound. So we've still got all of our stage set up. So we've got, how many channels are we running? 40?
We're running 44.
44 channels of audio and 16 sets of in-ear monitoring and speakers for monitoring. So everybody on stage tonight has got their own individual mixes, which is good because when we do the stunt show later on, where we have lots of fighting and gun battles on the dance floor, the band are providing live music for that, and we've got to pick up lots of cues. So, for example, when Odd Job comes on, for all you Bond fans watching, you'd love it. We've got the cue from when Odd Job come from the Goldfinger, the ting ting tings. We've got that nailed. Hopefully we'll have a little recording of that from the end of tonight. You've got to hear it. It was just mint. And Odd Job as well, the lookalike, when he heard it, he was just so pleased because it just takes you straight into the film. But so that's great. So yeah, it's a big setup. Everyone's got in-ears, so I can, as the MD, I can talk to them and say, look, okay, we're going to start this next track any second now. Here it comes. Lee, count it off. Lee, the drummer, will then count the track in. And we've got to sort of get that all synced up with the script. So it's I'd say it's a really complicated thing, and it is, but we've got such a great team of people on tonight. Everyone's such an expert. People like Mark here with the technical side, Karen on sound, our setup on stage, you know, the musicians I've got. We're absolutely all over this, and we did it last week for a good friend of ours' party, for his birthday party, and just knocked it out the park. So tonight, we kind of, in a way, it's kind of a level up in terms of the scale of the event, because it's a much bigger room and a lot more people in here, so everything's had to go up to sort of level 11. But you know, I know it's going to be fine because everybody's such an expert in their field. It works really, really well. So that's kind of the sound. Now, to finish off with, before I kind of switch off in a minute because you'll all get bored, I want to tell you about the lighting, because I know that for those of you who've seen our theatre show recently, you'd have seen we've been working with Mark's fantastic company, and the lighting that we have on the theatre shows is just simply breathtaking. And the lighting we've got in tonight is no different, really. So, Mark, do you want to tell them a little bit about the lighting?
Sure. So what we've gone for, we've basically tried to replicate as close as you can in a building like this, as close as we can the theatre show, because that's what Warren's client for tonight. They've seen obviously photos and bits of video of some of the theatre shows that Warren's done, and that's sort of where it's come from. So with a replication tonight, we've gone for, in the theatre we normally do, if you imagine above the stage, we do 5 different bars of lighting. But what we've done in here is we've basically transformed it down into just 2. So we've basically got a set of backlight and a set of front light and then a floor package of lighting. But the way we've done it is we've done it all with what they call the intelligent lighting, which is all your moving heads, your stuff that you can position, that you don't have to focus once it's in the air. Like, what I mean by focus is you'd have to get on a ladder, point the thing, put it in the right place. That's the kind of the old school way of doing it. So it gives us huge scope. So we've gone with, I think we've got 18 fixtures in the air in here. Yeah, so you can see obviously we've got one pointing at us, so you can see what we're doing at the moment. But we've got a bunch on the back there that you can't really see in that photo.
What I'll do, I'll just go around the front of the stage and show you quickly again some of the lighting, some of the mood lighting we've got for this event. So we've got this mood lighting here. Obviously at the moment it's quite low key because people are just having dinner. Once we start the full show, it'll be we'll be going up to level 11 with the lighting as well, won't we, Mark?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So you've actually got a desk at the back, haven't you?
Yeah, it's a desk at the back with Jack, who's our lighting engineer. He's controlling it at the back. All programmed. So what you saw there, the 4 that you saw on the front of the stage there, that are currently doing the ambient lighting in the room. There's another 8 of those in the air. So you can kind of imagine once we get that all going, plus then there's another 9 other fixtures on top of it that are in the air. And then what you can't see at the moment, because unfortunately we can't put them on while they're having dinner, there's 12 blinders out as well. So when you get the really big sections of all you Bond fans that know all the big parts of all the songs and things like that, you can hit all of those big points. So for instance, like during the stunt show and the kind of the big gunshot moments and things like that, you can emphasize it all with blinders. And it's that kind of thing that when people sit in a theatre and they go, I can't see anything now for the next 5 minutes, we've got plenty of that in here as well.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So just to finish off within the format of the evening now then, we're just having a bit of chill time, having been in since 9. Well, Mark was in from 9 o'clock this morning and I've been here since 11 setting this all up. We finished sound checking about 6:30 and then we're just chilling out now till 9 o'clock. Then we're doing half an hour of Bond hits, so we're having James Bond theme, Goldfinger, Thunderball, Diamonds, Live and Let Die, Man with the Golden Gun, License to Kill, Skyfall, Writings on the Wall. I think that's about all the ones we're doing. It's a bit of a shorter Bond set really tonight, before we then head straight into the stunt show. And what happens is we have Agent Black, who is our sort of, our baddie.
Yeah.
He's our baddie. He breaks in with his gunman, and they have a little battle with the SAS bodyguards who are here tonight. And so he storms the party and takes the CEO hostage. And there's kind of a few little scenes with fighting, gunfights, fist fights, which we all do music for. We've got a little Bond girl. She comes in a cat suit. She's kind of a half Bond villain, half Bond girl. It's quite cool. And then Bond arrives, or should I say, our secret agent arrives to rescue the day. And he has a little battle with Jaws and Oddjob, who appear out of nowhere as well. And then at the very end, Bond saves the day. So probably not the best summary, probably doesn't do it quite justice, but I think anyone that saw the show last week or is going to see it tonight will know it's just absolutely amazing. So I'm going to sign off now, and thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.